Hello everybody. I'm creating this video specifically for a family member who's experiencing abnormally high water consumption. So if this isn't detailed enough for you or too detailed for you, don't complain about it. I have a specific person in mind as the intended audience, but thought I'd post this up on my channel just in case it'll help you. So assuming that you have no leaks at any of the faucets, no drips, both inside the house or outside the house, I would concentrate on looking at the toilets. So the first thing I would do is look at the water supply line, make sure there are no drips here, there's no moisture here, there's no moisture on the tube, and there's no moisture on the floor. Assuming that you have no leaks here, there are only two other possible places in the toilet that your water could be leaking and causing a higher than normal bill. Inside the tank, and all tanks are a little bit different, but there generally will be a fill tube that looks like this, and then a flapper at the bottom that looks like that. The flapper releases water into the bowl, and the fill tube helps fill this tank. The first thing I would look at is make sure that the water level is not over the top of this tube. So the water level should, in this particular model, should be somewhere between these two black lines. So make sure that your water level, when the tank is full, is about a ½ inch below the top of the fill tube. Definitely it should not be running into the fill tube when everything's shut off. Assuming that the water level is at the correct line, the other thing I would do is make sure that that flapper valve at the bottom is not leaking. And the best way to check that is either to just watch the water level and see whether it's going down by itself, or allow the tank to fill, shut the main valve off, leave it overnight, and then come back in the morning and see where your water level is. The water level should be exactly where you left it when you shut the valve off. So notice where the water level is. It should be somewhere at least a ½ inch below the top of the fill tube. Shut the valve off, and then in the morning see whether the water is at the same spot. If the water is not at the same spot, you probably have a leaky flapper valve. So just go in and replace that. There are all kinds you can use to replace that. Lastly, if your water level is above the top of the fill tube, you probably need to make an adjustment. And all the valves are a little bit different. Some of them have a screw connection that alters where the float is. In my particular case, this particular valve has, you can see right down in there, that black float. In my case, my float is the black device. That float can be adjusted up or down by squeezing those stainless steel clamps that are on that rod. Sorry about the focus on that. I don't know why it won't focus. So if the water is in fact running over the fill tube, then you need to adjust the float. So there you have it. Either the float location, which is causing the fill tube to continuously fill, or it's a leaky flapper valve. I actually have my tank open for exactly that reason. I've got a leaky flapper valve. I'm getting ready to replace it. You can see that that flapper valve doesn't shut properly all the way down across the opening. So what happens is the water runs out, the float sinks down, and then the tank tries to refill. So you constantly hear the tank refilling a little bit, shuts off, water leaks out, triggers the valve to open again, and the tank refills. So there you have it. Hope this helps you narrow down where that leak is coming from, which is causing the high water usage. Here's what the other side of that flapper valve looks like, the side that's in contact with the opening at the bottom of the tank. And it was not sealing properly, and may not pick up on the camera, but it's pretty clear from where the residue is that Water was getting by it. Here's the back side of a one that's in a little better condition. And it's a different design, but I'm going to give this one a try. But this sealing ring, that surface there, or this surface all the way around here, has to be completely making contact all the way around to make sure you have a proper seal and that there's no water leaking through there.